Hello everyone. In the previous session, we discussed about in vitro diagnostic devices part 2. In today's session, we are going to look into the crisp summary of the entire topic diagnostic devices. To know more about the diagnostic devices, we should know about the term diagnosis. Medical diagnosis is a process of determining which disease or condition explains a person's signs and symptoms. Diagnostic assessment is an intensive clinical or functional face-to-face evaluation of a patient's mental health, developmental disability or substance abuse condition that results in the issuance of a diagnostic report on the recommendation by physician. The devices that aid or perform these kind of diagnostic devices are mainly referred as diagnostic devices. Types of diagnostic devices are portable diagnostic devices, medical imaging devices and in vitro diagnostic devices. Now we'll see what are all the major devices we have discussed under all these categories. Portable diagnostic devices. The major devices we have discussed under this category are stethoscope, thermometer, sphygmomanometer, pulse oximeter and electrocardiography. Stethoscope. This device helps to clearly hear the sounds inside a human body which can provide important information in order to diagnose disease conditions. This stethoscope mainly works based on the principle of multiple reflection. There are two types of stethoscope, analog and digital or electronic stethoscope. Thermometer. Thermometer is a device used to measure temperature of a human body. There are three types of thermometer. They are clinical mercury fill thermometer, digital contact thermometers and advanced non-contact thermometers. Sphygmomanometer. A sphygmomanometer is a device used to measure blood pressure and it is also known as blood pressure meter, blood pressure gauge or blood pressure monitor. There are three types of sphygmomanometer: mercury, aneroid and automatic digital sphygmomanometer. Automatic digital sphygmomanometer is the mostly advanced sphygmomanometer and it consists of sensor in order to measure the blood pressure. Pulse oximeter. Pulse oximeters are electrical devices used for continuous non-invasive monitoring of hemoglobin oxygen saturation. These pulse oximeters mainly combines two technologies, spectrophotometry and optical plethysmography. It mainly works based on the Beer-Lambert's law of absorption. ECG machine. Electrocardiograph machine or ECG monitors are devices that are used to diagnose heart diseases and to measure the electrical activity of heart. It mainly works based on the principle that contracting muscles generate a small current that can be detected and measured by the electrodes placed on the body. Medical imaging devices. Under this, we have seen about 9 devices and they are X-ray machine, CT scan, fluoroscopy, MRI, PET, SPECT, ultrasound, endoscopy and angiography. X-ray machine. X-rays are one of the main diagnostic tool since its discovery by William Röntgen in the year 1895. X-rays are produced when high energy electrons interact with matter. X-ray imaging is based on the X-rays that pass through the body and it depends highly on the atomic number of the tissues and energy of the X-ray. CT scan. Computed tomography is otherwise known as computed axial tomography or body section retinography. It is a medical imaging technique employing tomography where digital geometry processing is used to generate a three-dimensional image of the internals of an object from a large series of two-dimensional images, X-ray images taken from a large series of two-dimensional X-ray images taken along a single axis of rotation. Fluoroscopy. Fluoroscopy is the live action form of diagnostic radiology. The contrast agents are used to enhance the soft tissues which doesn't show under the normal X-ray use. During fluoroscopy, the images are viewed on the television monitor or screen. The contrast agents used are administered through injection or an enema. Magnetic resonance imaging. It is a non-invasive method for mapping internal structures of the body which uses non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation and employs radio frequency radiation in the presence of a carefully controlled magnetic field to produce high quality cross-sectional images of a body in any plane. The basic principle behind MRI is nuclear magnetic resonance. SPECT, positron emission tomography, is a non-invasive diagnostic technique for measuring the metabolic activity of the cells in the human body. It was developed in the mid 1970s and it was the first scanning technique to provide functional information about the brain. SPECT, single photon emission computed tomography. It is a technique used to measure how blood flows through arteries and veins in a human body. SPECT differs from PET scan with the point that tracer remain in the bloodstream instead of being absorbed by the tissues. SPECT scan can detect reduced blood flow in any region of the body. Ultrasound imaging. Medical ultrasound is the use of high frequency sound waves in the diagnosis and treatment of patients. Ultrasound imaging, also called sonography, involves exposing the part of a body to the high frequency sound waves to produce internal images of the body. Based upon the pulse echo principle occurring in the piezoelectric crystals, piezoelectric ultrasound transducers convert electricity into sound and sound into electricity. Endoscopy. Endoscopy is a non-surgical procedure used to examine a patient's digestive tract. Using an endoscope, a flexible tube with light and camera attached to it, a doctor can view the inner part of the digestive tract on a color TV monitor. Fiber optic endoscopes use bundles of thin fibers to transmit light to and from the organ being viewed. These fibers makes use of total internal reflection as their working principle. Angiography. It is a technique that uses X-rays to produce route map of the body's blood vessels. Physicians often use this test in order to view blocked, narrow, enlarged or malformed arteries or veins in any part of the body like heart, brain, abdomen and lungs. Depending on the condition of arteries and veins, either the underarm or the groin area will be disinfected and then used to insert the catheter. Next is in vitro diagnostic devices. The major devices we discussed under this category are glucometer, ABG analyzer, hematology analyzer, ELISA machine, biochemistry analyzer and urine analyzer. Glucometer. Glucometer is a device that helps in detecting the amount of glucose in the given blood sample. Mostly glucometers are based on the electrochemical technology and they use electrochemical test strips in order to determine the measurements. Measurements are based on the electrochemical reactions taking place in the strip when it is being filled with the blood sample. ABG analyzer. Blood gas analyzer or atrial blood gas analyzer is a device used to measure the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood. It also detects the acidity of the blood. The parameters of an ABG analyzer can be denoted as pH, PCO2, PO2 and HCO3, which is an additional metabolic parameter. Hematology analyzers. Hematology analyzers are computerized, highly specialized and automated machines that help in the counting of different kinds of white and red blood cells present in the given blood sample. Hematology analyzers generally count cells based on the 5-cell technique. They are flow cytometer, use of fluorescent dyes, electrical impedance method, light scatter method and radiofrequency. ELISA machine. Enzyme linked immunosorbent assay is a plate based assay technique that is designed in order to detect and quantify soluble substances like proteins, peptides, antibodies and hormones present in the blood. Other names such as enzyme immunoassay are also used to denote the same technique. ELISA use an enzyme in order to detect the presence of antigen antibody binding. This enzyme converts the colorless substrate to a colored product indicating the presence of antigen antibody binding. Biochemistry analyzer. Biochemistry analyzer or clinical chemistry analyzer is a device used to measure metabolites present in the blood. An autoanalyzer will sequentially measure the chemistry of the blood with the following series of steps. They are mixing, reagent reaction, colorimetric measurements and displaying them on the screen. Urine analyzer. Urine analyzer is a valuable tool in diagnosing and monitoring renal and urinary tract illness. Automated urine systems perform a complete urine analysis that includes physical, chemical and microscopic part of a routine. Now we have come to the end of this video lecture series. In this series, we have discussed about diagnostic devices, their types and number of devices under each category. I hope you all understood the concepts behind. In future, we will see more interesting topics in biomedical engineering. Thank you.